Okay, so I want to welcome you to one of our financial literacy event with Monarch Money Matters. My name is Tashana Spell. I am one of the key people that help to present as many financial literacy events to you out of Auxiliary Business Services. If you have not already, please like our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whichever one that you use, our Monarch Money Matters page. That's where we do most of our announcements and give money tips. Right now, we're in the middle of doing a spring challenge where all month, every day, we have a different challenge that goes up where you can get it done, take a picture, and be entered into some of the drawings that we're going to have at the end of the month. So I want to welcome you just as friends right now. We always think about what can we do for the college student, but this is something that we all need. This is something that just as we grow into adults must be put in order as adulting. So I want to introduce you to Tanya Young. She is a good friend of mine. She has the financial information and background that will really help you get things in order. If you did get a calendar invite, please notice that there is an attachment inside of that calendar invite that will give you even more details of what she's discussing and something you can use afterwards. All right, are you guys ready? All right, see, Jonathan is ready. I'm just saying, you're ready. I appreciate the enthusiasm. Guys, feel free to use the chat as well. Just make it live. We're not here to just say, oh, wait a second, let me get this financial information. This is the time to ask the questions, to say the hard things, tell the truth, and really let this really seep into your new habits. I'm going to give it to Tanya, and I thank you guys for coming out.
Yes, let me just share my screen. Let's see. And if someone can just give me a thumbs up, can you see it? All right, all right. Let me get acclimated here, get everything in front of me so I'm not looking in different directions. I'm super, super excited about being here today, to be a part once again of the ODU team. I was just stating earlier to Shauna that I feel like I am a part of the team. Like I didn't graduate from ODU, but I feel like I did. I feel like I worked there. Only thing is missing is an office. So I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Johnson about getting me an office so I can be over there with you. Today we're going to talk about spring cleaning your budget and, just a little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Tanya Young. I'm the Vice President for Workplace Solutions program at our bank, at Atlantic Union Bank. I'm housed out of the Ghent office. I love what I do, and I do what I love, and that's providing financial literacy for consumers and business owners, students, whomever has an ear to listen on what it is to be completely financially well. I hope that you were able to review the budget companion tool that was provided for you, and this will help you moving forward with customizing your budget. Now, when we look at financial spring cleaning, um, there's so many things that you can think of. A financial deep cleaning can help you save and get money goals back on track. It can also help you to prevent a late payment on a bill and avoid losing items, invoices. That's now going to cause you to have to spend extra hours looking for it. And so during your cleanup, you can do things like update your passwords, move any old retirement accounts, go paperless to cut out identity theft opportunities. In a nutshell, a financial spring cleanup can help you to just de-stress. According to research from UCLA, clutter has been proven to cause a spike in the stress hormone cortisol. I always mess that word up, which can lead to depression, weight gain, high blood pressure, memory problems. And now with the pandemic going on, this could double because a lot of individuals are working from home. They're doing school online. They're not really out and about moving around where you can actually just take a deep inhale fresh air and let out all the old stuff. So during this financial cleanup, you can also get rid of all of your unnecessary clutter that just has to do with life. Lighten the load, clean up those devices, remove unused apps, scrub your social media presence to get rid of any identifying personal information. Even something as small as stating that you're planning on taking a vacation. You know, scrub this stuff up. All of this will help you to keep your finances safer. So let's go ahead and dive into this spring cleaning. Our objectives today that we're going to hit on briefly, and you know, if there's any questions, please by all means do not hesitate to put it in the chat, and Tashana, she'll let me know when something's in the chat because I might not see it pop in, and then we'll present it to the audience and we'll just kind of talk about it. I don't profess to know everything when it comes to a financial portfolio, but what I can promise you is that I do know, I have mastered it, and I will provide any kind of information or resource that I can to help you to obtain complete financial wellness. So our objectives are budgets and how they empower you. We'll talk briefly about the 50-30-20 rule, budget tips, recommended allocation guidelines, building your budget worksheet, crunch the numbers, decide what you're saving for, and choose a banking partner to help make banking easier. So when you think about budgets, you know, budgets, they get a bad rap because they sound so restrictive. A lot of people are not disciplined. They feel that they're not disciplined enough to stick to a budget. But at their core, their purpose is simply a written plan for your money so that you can easily control having enough for what matters most and saving for what's to come, and ultimately putting you in a full control of your money. So step one, know exactly how much comes in each month. Step two, know what your expenses are. And step three, crunch the numbers and compare the recommended allocation guide. There may be certain categories you need to scale back on in order to save more for what really matters to you. Now, when we look at the 50-30-20 rule, it can be customized for any financial circumstance. It's going to look different for each person, depending on where they are in their financial journey, but it's a great guideline to use. So to help prioritize your spending, we recommend the 50-30-20 budgeting method. This divides your expenses into three simple categories: needs, which are 50%, wants, which are 30%, and savings, which are 20%. And I love the way it has wants in here as 30%, because a lot of times we don't always need it, but we want it. But this guideline provides us 30% of what we can use for just wants. So the 50-50 rule, it doesn't work in every circumstance, and it doesn't need to be exact, but once again, it's a good guideline to follow and to help you be on your way. Now, when we look at the budget tips, one, you want to pay your monthly bills on time. There are many potential penalties if you pay late. So a lot of times the bill may be something that is a set bill each month, but then by the time you add on these late fees, it causes you to be in a situation where you can actually fall behind. So you don't want to be stuck where you're paying penalties because you're not paying your bills on time. You want to set money aside that you'll need for weekly and day-to-day expenses like groceries and transportation. Three, you want to put into savings, put money in there, put money aside, try to build 2 months of take home for unexpected emergencies. And I like the ICE-IT method. You know, even though this right here, you usually typically apply this to storage that's on your phone because it's your emergency contact, but we can also apply it here with our savings as well, because we want to be prepared. So ICE-IT, it means just in case that unforeseen circumstance presents itself, now you have a stash that you can go to pull those funds to help you in the event of that emergency. 4, you want to set aside money for larger expenses that you know are coming. Like if you're planning to purchase a car, or you have a repair that you're looking to do, or appliances, or even with students, you know, you have something that's going on where you have to get new books, or something for a class where you need supplies. That could be a large expense that at your current situation, or the current moment that you're in, you might not have those funds put away, but then you can begin to set up a plan where you're putting money away, so when that event comes time, you can pull from those funds and be able to take care of that larger expense. And then last but not least, of course, we want to set aside money for future goals. And this would be long term. You know, maybe you're going on a trip that's going to take place next year or 2 years from now, with, you know, we're in hopes that the pandemic will have settled and things will be open back up, where we can not go back to the old norm, because I don't believe that it'll ever be back the old norm. It's going to be the new norm, but we can begin to try to do some of the things that we were restricted with the pandemic going on. Or you might want to purchase a home. You know, you might have goals that you're going to purchase a home 4 years from now or 5 years from now. So start putting money aside for those long-term goals so that you'll be prepared to meet that goal. Now, when we look at the budget allocation guide for take-home pay, it looks something like this. It's broken up into categories. This is going to provide you with the opportunity to put your whole financial life into one picture, where it's in one place. So you have, as you can see, the check marks, and it's going to be different. Once again, I want to continuously state that, because no one's financial portfolio looks exactly the same. So it's going to be different pertaining to your circumstance. So when we look at this guideline, it gives you a guideline of housing, rent, or mortgage needs to be 20 to 30% of your budget, of your take-home pay. Utilities, 4 to 10%. Food, 15 to 30%. Family necessities, childcare, laundry, salon, 4 to 10%. Medical, which is insurance, prescriptions, bills that have to do with medical expenses, 8 to 20%. Clothing, 3 to 5%. And that 3 to 5%, it might even be less than that, especially with the new norm that we're in. So you might not even spend that much when it comes to clothing. Transportation, 6 to 15%. Entertainment, 2 to 6%. And you may need to increase that, because entertainment, now we're becoming creative. So we're doing a little bit different things that are causing us to be able to have something that's an outlet, which we would put in the category of entertainment. And then of course, savings, 10 to 15%. Always, 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 and I can't stress this enough, ask yourself, do I really need it? Do I really need it today? And what would happen if I don't buy it right now? And last but not least, can I spend less to meet this need? So search around, look around for the different prices for things, you know, see who offers what and what's going to be the better deal, and how long you can go without this item. So maybe you can save up and you can pay for it full in cash, not using a credit card or not dipping into savings, but that was a part of one of those goals that you were setting money aside for to take care of it. A lot of times we become impulsive shoppers, where we'll see something and we think we need it right then and there. We'll have a bad day at work, we'll have a bad day or something's going on in the household, and then the next thing you know, we're impulsive shopping. I know I have fell prey to this myself, being in the house a little bit more. Amazon has become my favorite friend. I mean, every time you turn around, as soon as I get a break in the evening, I sit down after I make my dinner, and next thing you know, I have my phone in front of me and I'm like, oh, let's go shopping. And I'm looking on Amazon and I'm thinking I'm getting deals, just buying stuff. And I'm telling you, I think during the course of the pandemic, I have so many shoes that I have purchased just off of different sales that were going, and I don't even go nowhere. And I was looking at them in my closet and I'm like, I got all these shoes in these boxes and I'm not even going out, because I don't really go out a lot unless it's just pertaining to, you know, something that's a necessity. So we don't want to get caught up in just shopping just because. And it's so easy. You know, the social media has us hooked. They make it too easy to spend our money online. So stay disciplined, stay focused on your financial goals so you don't get sidetracked. And then next thing you know, you're like me, you have all these unwanted items that you don't need. Now, when you start your budget, you can refer to your participant guide if you like, or you can do this in your own personal time when you can just take a deep breath and a step back and really reassess what's going on with your finances. First, know exactly what is coming in each month after taxes. You want to look at your income, salary from all sources, investment income, dividends, student loans where you have money coming in, or other income, and then you want to total up your monthly income so you know what you're starting with at the beginning of every month. Know your monthly expenses. Now, on this guide, I've broken it down into 6 categories for easy tracking. Knowing what's coming in and out of your pocket. You work for it, you earned it, it's yours, control it. You should not be chasing your money. Begin to teach your money to chase you. So if we break it down in these 6 categories, you got health expenses, you have your debt and education expenses, food expenses, transportation expenses, home expenses, and personal expenses. Really begin to look at this to make it make sense for you. And then when you know this ties in with crunching the numbers, because once you review your worksheet to see where you are and understand what the needs are, then you can set yourself up for success and not failure. So looking at your worksheet, what percentage of your take home are you spending in each key category? How does it compare to the national recommended guidelines of expense allocation when referencing back to the 50-30-20 and where we broke it up into the percentages? Are there areas that you can scale back on, cut back on, things that you don't really need, or an area that really doesn't pertain to you? So that money that you would allocate for that area, now you can take that money and apply it to another section. Does your current spending plan leave enough for you to save for your goals? And then when you look at the savings categories, your emergency rainy day fund, your college and other education fund, retirement, and then other savings areas for maybe a house down payment or birth of a child or vacation. These are things that we had already discussed. We don't want to live beyond our needs. Follow the plan, trust the process, and after the first 2 months, you should be comfortable with your budget, but making sure that you are making adjustments as needed each month. So if you allocate $100 for food, and this is just an example, say you allocate $100 for food, but for entertainment, you allocated $200. Right? And then you see at the end of the month that for food, you ended up spending $150, but the entertainment area, you only spent $75. Well, that overflow that you still have left, the deficit between what you spent and what you didn't, take it and apply it to your food the next month. And maybe just put the entertainment, at $75 or $100 just to give you a $25 cushion. But then you can take that money, apply it to the other portions of your budget, and then now it gives you something that's obtainable. You want your plan to be smart. You don't want to set it up where it's something that you cannot stay in the confounds of what you put together for the budget. And this is why it's very important that every month, at the end of the month, when you go into the next month, you should never go in a negative. You should break even, or it should always be a plus. If you see that you're going into the next month in the red, you know that you need to make an adjustment. You know that you need to go in and change some things around so that you can stay within your plan. Remember, we want to set ourselves up for success when we're doing our budget. We want to be able to obtain the budget. And when you take this back to the whole thing of cleaning up your finances, this spring cleaning that we do every year around this time, it is so crucial that you consider cleaning up your finances as well, so that you can be in a good place. This is the time of the year where individuals, things are bright, things are blooming, the weather's getting warm, and we start getting antsy a little bit with being indoors. So now we're going out. We want to be able to enjoy this time of the year. So with that, all the things that are bogged down and holding you down, we want to shake them off. We want to dust things off. We want to clean it up. So we're setting ourselves up to continue on our financial journey in a healthy way. So we want to be completely financially well. That's our ultimate goal that we want to be able to attain. I hope this is something, that I'm saying that's helpful. I hope it's not boring you. I mean, I might seem a little over the top because I get so excited when it comes to talking about finances and being totally financially well. I can think back on my own story and why I'm so passionate, because I can remember a time when someone said the word budget to me and I had no clue as to what it meant. I can remember a time in my life when it came to cleaning up things around me, I was like, I won't want to say I was a hoarder, but I was that person that kept things forever. I kept my tax returns for like 20 years when I could get rid of them and I didn't need to keep all that. I kept receipts, back from when my children were graduating from high school, and my baby girl's 30 years old. So it's like, why in the world would I still have something that a receipt from when she purchased her prom dress? Like, these are things that we need to get rid of. Start making things digital so we don't have so much paper, just really, really looking at our financial portfolio in a wider view, because it consists of so many different things. When you think about your finances, people tend to think about, well, I don't have enough money to save. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have this that I have to pay for, that for I have to pay for, but we never really make it clear and put it in black and white and think about the things that we waste money on. Think about how much you spend in just coffee, or that snack that you're paying for every day out of the vending machine, or stopping at Wawa, or stopping at Starbucks. And when you total that up every week, 52 weeks in a year, and you total that up and you look what you spent, that's money that you could have saved. You could get in the habit of making your own coffee and then putting that money that you would spend on that coffee into a savings plan. So I say all this with hopes that you'll take heed. Some things may be a refresher. Some things may be things that, you didn't know. And some things may be something that you can share with someone else to help them and empower them to be completely financially well. I see something in the chat. Okay, so the question was, you have a question in regards to investments, and I don't see a place for that on my budget. How would you plan for investments? So you could add that slot for investments. If you notice on where it has income, the first portion of the worksheet, there is a part on there for investments and dividends, and that's where you would put that at, because it would be something that's coming in. Investments is going to be different from everyone because there's different levels of investment. Some people like to take risk and some people don't. I am not licensed in giving you advice on investing, but I do know that with investments, if you are not understanding the whole process of it, it can work against you. So know that, a financial advisor is for anyone. It's not just an individual that is smart with investing or with, putting money aside. It's not just for individuals that have a lot of money to do it. A financial advisor is for anyone, wherever they're at in their financial journey. So make sure that, you explore the resources that are available to you to get with a financial advisor that can help you to set up an investment portfolio that works for you. I hope that answered your question. And last but definitely not least, choose a financial institution that helps you. This is my favorite part. People take this for granted when it comes to their finances. And just like I just shared with you about the financial advisor, no matter where you are at in your financial journey, utilize that. There are people that are experts in this area to help the consumer and the business owner to be completely financially successful. Financial health to them is something that they work on day in, day out, helping individuals to obtain their financial goals. Please connect with a financial professional to help establish your first account if you haven't had experience in opening up an account, doing anything with investments. Sit down with them and create a solid plan to help you to reach your goals easier. And with Atlantic Union Bank, and on here I have the website that you can go to. I work in the Division of Solutions Banking, which is the benefit program for organizations and companies for their employees and their teammates. You can go to that website, you can set up appointments, you can connect with a branch that's closest to you. And then this way, conveniently but private, you can do a Zoom call, answering your questions, just talking about your financial needs. You can also do digital sign with DocuSign. There's so many different ways now that have been put in place for you to be have easy access to a financial coach, a financial advisor, a banker to help you in this area of your portfolio. Atlantic Union Bank also has established a community code for ODU, which is 125. So be sure to include that code if you decide to go online to open up a product, and you can receive a cash incentive. And also, if you need to connect with me, or you need me to connect you with a branch manager or another line of business partner that I have access to, there's my information. And I'll Tanya.Young at Atlantic Union Bank. I am more than welcome. I'm more than happy, not welcome, more than happy to connect with you and get you started on your journey, or just meet you wherever you're at in your journey to help you to continue on. So once again, here is my information, my phone number, my office of where I'm housed out of. You have my email address, Tanya.Young at Atlantic Union Bank. .com, and I'm here for you. And that's what it's all about, empowering individuals to be completely financially well. So I hope that I have encouraged you to clean up your finances, to do some deep diving into wherever you're at, to set it up so that you can be successful as you continue on in your journey. And I will open the floor now for any additional questions, comments, statements, or concerns. Ty, I know you're like, what? She's done already? Because usually I just really, really go. But I just felt like something like this, when you spring cleaning, you just want to hit and be done and keep it moving. You don't have to tarry there too long. So if there's any questions, please put it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself, and we can see if we can talk about it as a group.
I actually was thinking, like, should I ask my question? Because I am trying to spring clean my budget, and I have quite a bit of expenses that don't match my income. So I'm noticing that when I'm trying to stick to my budget, I am forgetting about some of the miscellaneous things that come up, and it seems like there's always things coming up. And then I have like this really bad habit of like stopping at the Starbucks sometimes when I'm out driving. And I keep saying that I'm going to stop and I'll prepare, and have coffee at home. But for some reason, the discipline of it has not gone all the way through. How, and this probably is more mental than anything, like, how do you prepare in that type of circumstances where habits are so strong, and the documentation of budgeting can be quite time consuming?
And that's such a great question. And this is something that we all have experienced sometime or another in our journey with our budget. One, I like to start with, we have to take a step back and change our mind to change our life. So if we don't change our thought process, we're not going to get results. We're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. So one, acknowledging that this is an issue for you.
Yeah.
And then 2, I'm going to change my thought process on this. And sometimes you might have to take 2 steps backwards to go forward, right?
Yeah.
So I'll use something as simple as the coffee incident. And it's so funny that you bring this up, because I can remember about 4 years ago when I did the math, I was one of those people that, out of habit, when I left my house every day, I went to Starbucks, which was around the corner from my house. I didn't go to Wawa, even though their coffee tastes just as good. I didn't go there because I would have to park and get out my car. And I'm from up north. I had to deal with people that were in line talking, having a conversation. I'm looking at my watch. I'm always running behind. So I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. So I would go to Starbucks because it was convenient. I could go through the line. After a while, hey, Miss Young, you having the same thing today? I would get it and keep going. It wasn't until I was teaching a class and one of the students pointed out when we were talking about vices, and I was getting on them about how much they spent in cigarettes. And they said, well, Miss Young, what's your vice? And I was like, oh, mine isn't as serious as yours. I just drink coffee. And so when the class went on, and, and they kept, this one student kept raising her hand, hitting on my vice about coffee. And she was really getting on my nerves a little bit, but I didn't say too much. I still stayed focused. She said, well, Miss Young, how much you think you spend every day when you go to Starbucks? Because I was going to Starbucks at least a minimum of 4 times a week, Monday through Friday, because I was on the road, I travel. By the time we ended up doing the calculations, she showed me that I had spent close to $2,000 in that 1 year just on coffee. And the way your eyes got big, I did the same thing. So much so, I went to my bag and I pulled my own phone out and I started doing my own calculations. I was like, this girl is tripping. Let me add this up. And I added it up, and it was mind blowing to me. One, because someone had called me out on it. They held me accountable for something that I was doing that I didn't realize I was doing. And that's why it's important to be able to empower one another, right? To be completely financially well. And then 2, I was like, here it is. I enjoy spending time with my grandkids, and they're always wanting, my mom, I want this, my mom, I want that. And I said, here it is. I can afford to spend almost $2,000 on coffee that I don't even need to be drinking anyway. And that isn't even all that good. I should be going to Wawa and getting $1 coffee, right? So then I started changing my mind about things, and my children, they helped me. They went out, they bought me this real nice Ninja coffee maker. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna try to do this. So 2 things happened. For a minute, I was really diligent on getting up and making the coffee. Then after a while, that became cumbersome to me. I was like, I don't have time to be, oh man, I'm running late. I can't make my coffee. Then I found myself pulling away from being that coffee drinker that had to have coffee every day. It was like, because it was just too much of a hassle to rush to get downstairs and turn the coffee maker on and make it, and I didn't want to, in my mind was ringing the almost $2,000 that I had spent at Starbucks. And I was like, nope, not doing that again. And in my mind, I began to change my mind, which now changed my life when it came to just wasting money frivolously on things that I really didn't need. So you might need that aha moment for something to hit you, whether it's coffee, having to buy shoes every week, or having to go shopping every week. Sometimes we just need something to hit home, or for someone to call us out on it, and then you can begin to be mindful. So I know that was a long story.
That
I'll
was
come off my
good.
soapbox, but it's different for everyone. Things that you have to reevaluate, and that's why it's good to put it on paper. When you see it in writing, in black and white, and each time you're looking at your budget, you're like, oh, I got to add another category. Oh, I got to add this. After a while, you get sick of your own self. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So you just need to just take a step back, girl, and just really look at your financial portfolio in a wider view.
Yeah, because that sticker that you just gave me just messed me up. And I think that's what's going to have to happen, is really seeing what those calculations are over time and where all the money is going that could go to things that, are more helpful.
Yes, yes, yes. Anyone else? Y'all talk to me. you know, what's some of the challenges that you face if there's students on the line or if there's staff and faculty, whoever's on the line? What's some of the things or maybe a testimony that you can share that helped you to really think about how you spend your money?
So one thing that really helped me as far as saving money goes is I would pretty much any time that I was buying something that wasn't a diehard necessity, like isn't food, water, like clothing that I absolutely need, something like that, I would, instead of just buying it immediately as soon as I saw it, I would write it down, and a week later I would go back to the exact same product. I would go back to like the web page or whatever, and I would consider like, do I still want this? Because I figure if a week later, if I still want it, then it's not an impulse buy anymore. You know what I mean?
That is good. And Sean, how did that work for you?
It worked out very well. I used to spend so much money on like video games I didn't even have time to play and stuff like that, and now I don't even do that.
I love it. I love it. That's good. That's good. Anyone else? Empower me, you know, empower me. Give me something that I can, that'll make me think. Y'all are so quiet. So everybody's straight. Everybody is experts on their budget. They done cleaned it up for the spring. All right. Well, pat yourself on the back. Doing
I
good.
actually do
Jonathan, you
have
gonna
a
share
question.
something? Huh?
How would you come up with, say, like, I don't have a car yet, and if I wanted to get a car, how would you go through the process of budgeting money for that? Like, I could get something, I could get a car off like Craigslist or something for $500, or I could save money, maybe get a car that's more expensive that'll last longer. So how do you justify how much money you should set aside for something in your mind?
Are you a student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So a couple of things. One, what are you going to be using the car for? Are you getting the car because you need transportation, or are you getting a car because you want to be in the in crowd with everyone? You know,
No.
think about what the need is for the car, right? Two, think about your skill set. Are you a mechanic? Are you able to work on the car? Or in the event that if you bought something cheap and something happens to it, do you have access to someone that can help you do the repairs, right? Because, you know, maintenance is major on a used vehicle. And then three, begin to look at what you have coming in, and are you able to put a smart amount away every month preparing for that purchase and not have to take from it. So if you have income coming in where you can put away, I don't know, $300 every month. I know that's kind of high, but let's just say that $300 every month, and then you're not going to have to pull it back and say, oh, I got to get something for school from this, or, you know, it's money that once it's gone, out of sight, out of mind. If you're capable of doing that and disciplined enough to do that, then do that, you know, put it away, because a newer car, a car that you pay more for, a lot of times is going to be the one that's going to be more reliable. You don't want to set yourself up to have to take steps back because you buy this cheap car on Craigslist, and then now you find yourself putting out all this extra money for maintenance. So you would have to really look at that and begin to ask yourself questions, and then also see if, you know, if you're in a place where if you have income coming in where you can afford a payment, then you might want to think about financing a car. You just have to look at your circumstance and what you're able to handle on a monthly basis, because we don't want to live beyond our means. Helpful?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Well, I'm not going to call you out because I'm old school from, you know, I'm about calling people out. But if you feel content and there's nothing else you want to share, Ty, once again, as always, it is my pleasure to be a part of this. I mean, I love it. And this is Financial Literacy Month, so I'm in my vein. I'm flowing because I enjoy empowering individuals to help them to just look at things differently, outside of the box, pertaining to their finances, so that they can obtain those financial goals. So Thank you again. And Ty, I'll give it back to you.
All right. I want to thank you all for coming to find out about what it means to really do some spring cleaning with your budget. Just to give you some updates on what's coming up. Thursday, we have another event at noon. It's called Paying Less for College. We have a doctor that will be on the line who received her PhD from Harvard without paying anything for college. So we thought it would be very important for you to get some insight on what was necessary for her to do that, because having college paid for definitely will help with your budget and will help you be able to get a car and be able to do some of the things that can help you preparing for your future. Key things I want you to remember: if you have any questions, please email me. It's twithers@odu.edu. And I also wanted to ensure that you all knew that if you did not go get your t-shirt yet, they are no longer at the bookstore. They're only at PNC in Web Center. So be sure that you just go there so you don't make an extra trip. I wanted to give you guys that update. Tell your friends. Make sure you like our social media pages, Monarch Money Matters. And I want you guys to have an awesome afternoon. I'm going to make sure that I get you an email with the video link as well. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tanya.